Hello everyone, welcome to TeaWithTorkwase, where I serve you the hottest tea from the internet, from TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, and sometimes X. If this is your first time seeing me, where have you been? Anyway, welcome. I still accept you. And if this is not your first time seeing me, I think at this point you should consider subscribing. That'll be a very free way to help me, to support me to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. Today's video is about this lady that has decided to redefine the term princess treatment. So we're going to watch it, listen to other people's reaction to it from TikTok, and then I'll drop in my commentary here and there. So are you ready? Get your tea, get your biscuits, get your popcorn, and let's get into this.
Let's talk about princess treatment if you're at a restaurant and how you interact with the waitstaff and the hostess. If I am at a restaurant with my husband, I do not talk to the hostess, I do not open any doors, and I do not order my own food. So someone had sent me a message a couple weeks ago asking about, like, let's say your husband drops you off and he goes to park the car, what do you do? Or if it's raining or something like that and he wants you to put your name down. And I had a very similar situation happen to me with my husband a couple weeks ago. I'll put her question on the screen so you can see exactly what she's saying. But me and my husband pulled up to a restaurant and he wanted to run in and see. We didn't have a reservation. He wanted to run in. Well, we didn't have a reservation, so we wanted to go up and see if it was possible for us to get in. He pulled the car up at the valet station. I stayed in the car. He got out of the car, told the valet, I'm just gonna run in and ask a question. I'm gonna leave my car here. I sat in the car while he ran in and asked them. They said, yeah, we have space for you. And then my husband said, okay, I'm gonna go get my wife and then I'm gonna park the car. So he comes back out, opens my car door, walks me into the restaurant, opens the door, and I stand and wait. I did not make eye contact with the hostess. I did not talk to her. I waited until my husband came back. He comes back, does the exchange with her, and then we went and sat down. Let's say it's raining. You already have a reservation, okay? Your husband's gonna pull you up to the restaurant. He's gonna get out, open your door. He's gonna walk you to the restaurant door, open the door, and walk you in. He's probably then gonna leave to go park the car, or he's gonna go exchange whatever he needs to do with the valet. You're just gonna stand in the lobby or whatever the space is, and you're gonna wait for your husband to come back. You're not gonna go up to the hostess and give the reservation name. You're not gonna talk to her. This isn't out of like I'm better than them and I don't need to talk to them and I don't need to, I'm not like it's not in any sense like you're better than the hostess. You're just letting your husband lead and be masculine. He made the reservation. He's taking you out. Let him do the logistics. You're just being a princess. It's not because you're being hoity-toity. You're just letting your husband lead and letting him take care of it. So if I don't even know another situation where you would need to be dropped off, usually there's a valet so you can both get out together. But again, like, you don't need to feel awkward about it. Another huge part of the princess treatment is, I don't know if we specifically talked about this, but the over need to like talk and fill space. Like, you don't need to talk unless you are spoken to. And then if you are spoken to and they ask, you could just say, oh, I'm just waiting for my husband, and then he'll be able to give the reservation. Or you can say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not sure. My husband will be back, and then you can ask him. You can say it in a very soft and feminine way. I know this is going to be ripped apart. People will just take things seriously such the wrong way, but that's how I would handle it. And then let's just go further into, so if you're sitting down, you're ordering. In New York, for the most part, the waiter would come up, they would ask, whatever, my husband would start to speak, and then the waiter would address them, and the waiter would get the hint and only then interact with my husband. Here in Salt Lake, they don't quite get it. I think they think that I'm like being, oppressed, or I don't know. They'll be like, what can I get you to eat? And I will just look at my husband. Like, if they address me first, I will just look at my husband and let my husband order. He'll say, oh, she's da 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 da. And then if they have a follow-up question, like, oh, do you want it like this? Sometimes I will answer. Let's say I think maybe my husband doesn't know what I would want. I will then address the waiter. But it's almost like they keep trying to like get me to speak. And I'm like, no, I want him to order for me. I like when he orders for me. It's not that I'm not capable of ordering for myself. It's just fun. It's just a fun princess treatment thing. It makes me feel special. It makes me just feel like over the top taken care of. So if the waiter addresses you first, I will simply just look at my husband, and then my husband will order. Again, you don't need to over speak, over exert yourself. You can be feminine and soft and quiet. The most elegant, lovely women are often soft-spoken and don't overspeak. They're not loud. Maybe let's also talk about that. You're not going to be laughing loudly, speaking loudly, demanding the attention of the room when you're at a restaurant. You're with your husband, your boyfriend, whoever, fiance. You're speaking to him, eye contact with him. The attention is kind of on him. You're not laughing so loudly that everyone in the room is looking at you, or speaking so loudly that everyone in the room is looking towards you. You take the napkin, put it in your lap immediately. You're not waiting. You're not, oh, sorry. You know what I mean? Oh, another thing, at the coat check, let's say it is raining, you have a coat on. Don't go up and wait and ask for the coat check. Wait for your husband. Let's say your husband's dropped you off early. Wait for your husband to come back, and then he can take your coat off and give it to the coat check. So anything really, you're just waiting for your husband to do it. And again, it's not because you can't. It's not because you're not able to, and it's not because you're better than anybody. It's just the fun part of being that princess, of being that feminine wife, and letting your husband take care of you. You're already having to do so much. Your brain is constantly already on as a housewife, stay-at-home mom. You're running and managing so much. In those fun little moments, it's really just so lovely to let your husband do that for you. Anyways, again, long-winded, hopefully helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, as always. So I am a recently promoted housewife / stay-at-home mom. Before that, I was working full-time, and I would say I was definitely in a more like masculine energy vibe, just the whole thing. Within the past couple years, I've been really leaning in towards being softer, slower, more feminine. And then we moved to Utah, and I decided to stay home, so I became a full-time housewife, stay-at-home mom. And I would say that for me personally, that kind of like leveled me up into this like kind of leveling up my princess treatment, because I was really leaning in to that feminine energy. I'm not saying that you have to stay home to receive like level up your princess treatment, but that's just kind of been my journey. And so baseline, when I met my husband, there was a good standard respect and love of like each other, and then the princess treatment. But as I've leaned into being more feminine, the princess treatment has gotten better and like more ridiculous in the best way possible. So standard. Like let's say you're like meeting your husband for the first time, your boyfriend, whatever. There's a general respect for each other where you're not speaking ill. He's not speaking ill about you, in front of other people, or behind your back. He loves and respects you, like adores you, wants to do well, wants to make you happy. Like you are his ride or die. I feel like sometimes people comment or whatever, and other girls will be like, that's not your guy, that's not your guy. Because your guy, your man, wouldn't talk to you like that, wouldn't treat you like that. So the baseline is you already have that genuine respect and love and adoration for each other. That's like out the gate. Then once that is there, you can level up the princess treatment, because he wants to. Men want to adore you and love you and spoil you. But when you're in your masculine energy, you don't give him any room to do that. You don't give him any room to chase you, any room to spoil you and adore you. Does that make sense? So baseline is just respect and general love, like adoration. Then, sorry, my husband's literally texting me while I'm doing this TikTok. I would say other basic standards is your love language. Whatever your love language is, he knows what it is, and he actively provides, serves it to you. Like mine is gifts. So he writes me notes. If you write me a note, I'll be your best friend forever. He writes me notes constantly. And then I get flowers weekly. So those little gifts. And then I get other little flowers and like other little treats and other little gifts, and like holidays are a very big deal to me. And he, even though maybe he doesn't care about that holiday and he doesn't think it's a big deal, it's a big deal to me. And so it's a big deal to him. So whatever your love language is, I would say, he is providing that. But I do think all the love languages, everyone obviously benefits from like quality time. Like he takes me to coffee every single Wednesday. It's a standing date. So he prioritizes me. If I call him more than 3 times, he's going to answer his phone no matter what, because I'm his top priority at all times. Me and my son are his top priority at all times. So those things I would say are just like the standard. Like that's the baseline, basic stuff you should be getting. On top of that, I would say this is also baseline, okay? He is paying for all my and this can be hard and this can be confusing, especially if you're dating, but like obviously we have shared bank accounts, but now he pays. If I'm with him, he's paying. I'm not getting my card out. I'm not getting a wallet out. He's paying if he's in the room with me. He's opening all the car doors. I'm not opening a car door. I'm not opening a door in general. He talks to the hostess. He checks us in for the dinner. He is I'm just thinking of like the comments that people are gonna like say back to this. Like, you have to think his princess treatment is almost just like kind of silly sometimes. Like, you're just in your most feminine, like, I can't open the door. I can't talk to the hostess. I don't know how to do that. But don't take that so literally where I'm saying like you have to be dumb. I'm just saying that like you just let him have control. You let him take care of you. So that's baseline. I don't really tie my shoes. He does that for me. Like, if there's any sort of like weather predicament, like it's raining, like he's gonna, cover me and make sure I get in the door first. He's gonna pull around so that I can hop into the building, and then he's gonna go park the car. Like, any kind of like minor inconvenience, he's gonna take care of. Like, he does certain chores around the house that I don't want to do. He does those for me. Basically, you can get as silly and ridiculous as you want. He brings me lemon tea every single night. That's a part of my princess treatment. He like tucks me in and makes sure that my blanket's on the bed and that I have all my like little thingies if I need anything in the house. Say I'm sitting and watching a show and I want a cookie or a treat or an orange, whatever it is. Like, can you peel me an orange? She's gonna peel me an orange. Oh, the sun's coming out now. I don't know. I'm sure I'm forgetting things, but these are just like, maybe I should have thought of like actual standards, like these 5 things. But I think like just basic respect and love for you, the general desire to like want to love you and adore you needs to be there. That's not something you can like manipulate or trick. That has to be like the genuine relationship. And then because that's there, then you can level up. And then like giving you your love language, whatever that may be. And then like the silly little things that are important to you. Maybe you don't care if he brings you lemon tea, or maybe you don't care if he orders your food at the restaurant. I do. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to be the princess when I'm with him and turn my brain off. Like in the airport, I turn my brain off. When we're traveling, I turn my brain off. Like, I don't know where we are. I don't know what time we have to be there. You're taking care of that. I'm just here to be pretty. And I said that in another video, and people like take it so literally, but you kind of have to think of it as like fun and silly to get yourself into that princess treatment mode. Because we've been so trained to be like, no, I'm a girl boss. I can do everything for myself. I can do everything for myself. But really like remove that and let him take care of it. I don't really know if I answered your question. We can do another part 2. I hope this was helpful. I feel like every time I sit down to film, I'm like, wait, did we get to the point? I can't remember. I don't know if we actually got to the point. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if I didn't hit the mark. We can do another video.
So I hope you're taking notes. I don't want any of my subscribers to be walking anyhow and be responding to people in the restaurants. Please take your notes. All the things she said, make sure you do it, okay? Me too, I'm taking my own notes. But I think people on the internet have decided that they're going to do deep dives, essays, every on top of this situation. So we're going to watch them. Some of the things she said in this thing are like, what even a friend, even somebody that is a friend would do it for you. So I don't know why she's thinking that it is out of the ordinary. And then when she now goes out of line, I'm not out of line. When she now goes to his talking her in, okay. I think whatever you want to do in your relationship, do. But first of all, I think she will increase her standard, because when you say trad, people the real trad men are paying for anything. She said they have shared accounts, but he's just the one paying for it. So yeah, they won't pay for it. Now, what is the trad about it? It's not trad. Abby, am I tweaking? Anyway, let's hear what people on the internet are saying.
I did a deep dive on the strange princess treatment trad wife, so you don't have to. Let's call it an insomniac special. And while probably the most controversial statement was that she doesn't speak until spoken to, or that she doesn't look the hostess, I did discover some other odd statements. She literally said, you need to train your husband. Train him to do these things for you. And she said, they'll learn. They're teachable. Babe, they're not children. She did say, your husband can't read your mind. True. But how does that make the man more masculine if you're training him? Wouldn't that infantilize him? I've been blessed to always get the princess treatment and I've never had to train my man to do it. Yes, open communication. Tell your man what you want. If he doesn't give it to you, don't marry the man. Dependent on the man. But I would think that, especially airing all this out and talking about your man in this way, that's a one-way street to resentment. She said they married young. I believe she said they've been married for 17 years. Now here's the part that I thought was the weirdest. Just a couple of years ago, they were living in New York. She was everything that she preaches against now, or seemed to be everything. She was working, whatever, their situation has changed, that's fine. Was louder. Now she talks about how women should be quiet. You're more elegant if you're not so chatty. And she had a healthier looking physique. She also kind of got heated, had a very strong opinion. It's very contradictory to all of her notions about being a princess. And this was a recent video. She was talking about how she didn't like how her husband wanted to stay up later than she did. And so she started training him to go to bed at an earlier time. I guess someone had commented, God forbid, two people are different or something. She's very adamant that she thought it was weird if a husband and a wife went to bed at a different time, because she said, what's your husband doing up that late? What's your husband doing up while you're in bed? What's he looking at? Babe, what? If you don't trust your husband, I'm just fascinated by the psychology of it all. And I fully admit I'm a weirdo for doing a deep dive. It just seems like she's in an unnecessary power struggle with herself, oppressing herself. I know nothing about the husband. And that's been your local Insomniacs deep dive on the princess treatment lady. Let me know who you want me to deep dive next.
Does anyone think it's a little weird that princess treatment lady here said she was going to spend the afternoon going to Trader Joe's, cleaning and doing laundry? From her videos, it looks like she lives on the Upper East Side, or wants people to think she lives on the Upper East Side. I live on the Upper East Side. I don't know one woman in her tax bracket that cleans their own apartment and does their own laundry. And what is up with the Diet Coke? So she eats all these clean meals to maintain her physique, but then drinks these big gulp-sized Diet Cokes? Like, the two just don't go together. Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Something's weird here.
The funniest thing to me about the collarbone final boss up here that says she gets princess treatment and she doesn't talk to the waiters at Applebee's is that she is not rich and she's not old money. She lives in an apartment. What rich person do you know has their fucking dining room table and couch this close together? She's a fraud.
Can I say something really quickly about the princess treatment woman? I was watching her videos, and if you haven't seen, it's this woman who, she's in, I think, a nightgown or night top, like a pajama top, and she has her bob perfectly combed, she has her earrings, and she's kind of talking about how it's giving very Connecticut, Stepford wife, but she's talking about the princess treatment. Yeah, she doesn't make eye contact with the hostess in a restaurant. She doesn't speak. She doesn't order her food. Her husband does all this stuff, right? And a lot of people are obviously what? But I'm watching this video and I'm like, what is it about this video? If I can put into words, what is it about this video that is so off-putting or weird to me? And I can't explain it, but it's she cannot convince me that there is joy in her life. The video very much sounds like a prisoner trying to convince me that the food in jail is really good. I want to compare it to okay, my mom loves a task. Have you seen those videos of people that love cleaning? Or the women who make food from scratch? You can tell when somebody enjoys and they take that bite or they share it with their family, and you can see the joy or the feeling of accomplishment or something. If you watch that woman's other videos, she's I've been promoted to housewife these past 6 months, my 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. shift. And let me tell you something. running a household, being a stay-at-home mom, that is work. That is a hard motherfucking job. Managing everybody's schedules and keeping everything, clean and everybody safe and happy and fed, whatever, that's work. Like, no one's denying that. But it's just this, like, it's like being, like, it's rigid. It's gray and it's rigid. And it feels like, I wanted to compare it to, like, nuns, but I think I've seen and met nuns that talk more passionately about their love of Christ and the commandments than this woman does about her life. It seems as though she needs everything to be very routine for her to feel a sense of, like, accomplishment or peace and calm. And I gotta be honest with you, her life looks like punishment almost. It's very odd for me, because when I close my eyes and I envision my life when I'm older, like, my hair is gray, my flats are like yellow, the dress I'm wearing is like equally as obnoxious, it's like polka dot, the sun is on my face, I am laughing as like something bright is in my cup, garnished, you know what I mean? I order dessert before I go on my walk. Like, if somebody pisses me off, when I close my eyes and I imagine this gray-haired woman with her yellow shoes, if somebody pisses me off, I yell, fuck you, fuck off, I laugh loudly, I orgasm loudly, I exist. I feel like the princess treatment is politely existing, whereas for me, I want people like my grandchildren and great-grandchildren to be like, I heard a voice yesterday in a restaurant that sounded just like grandma's, because they know what my voice sounds like in a restaurant, because I always knew what I wanted. If princess treatment means asking to politely exist, I don't want any part of it. I'll have the ropa vieja, please. Thank you. Like,
To me, it's either this is just fake, she's just acting, she's just grifting, or it is maybe she hit her head against the wall. I don't know which one is the problem, because it seems that she is creating her own prison. It's just like the other lady in my previous video. I'll pin it somewhere up here in the last video, that was saying she went to go and buy day collar for herself to show her submission to her husband. She picked it and the husband just put it on for her. It's just giving the same vibes. It's also giving of Fred. What's that girl's name? The woman in Handmaid's Tale. The lady that the lady of the house in Handmaid's Tale. Yeah. Where she is the one that created the utopia, but somebody else is lording over her in the utopia. So she created her own prison, and then she's now coming to be rioting against the prison she herself created. That's what this whole thing is giving. That's what this whole situation is, because she said she left her own 9 to 5 and decided to come and working. I think she was promotory. Apologies. She had been promoted in the last 6 months. Maybe we'll see her Q3 review to see maybe they will promote her again. Yeah, I think what is off is that it's feeling fake, or she just hit her head somewhere, or midlife crisis.
If I am at a restaurant with my husband, I do not talk to the hostess, I do not open any doors, and I do not order my own food.
This woman is describing this kind of treatment as princess treatment, but this to me looks like the patriarchy in full effect. Women being seen and not heard, women only speaking when being spoken to. This woman is being dragged all over the internet because she sees this treatment as princess treatment, but from the outside looking in, it looks like somebody who wants to be dominated and controlled. And if that's what you're into, have at it. But this is not what princess treatment looks like for most women. When we think princess treatment, we think being spoiled. We think being listened to, being heard, being respected, being valued, being treated well. We don't think about the idea that you can't even speak to a server. You can't smile. You can't speak until your man speaks for you. This to me is no different than the video that I posted yesterday about the woman saying that she wears a day collar to show her husband when he comes home that she's being submissive. Now, this woman seems to be a bit more affluent. She's going to Michelin star restaurants. She's going on nice vacations and all of that. But to me, her collar is invisible. It's still there, though. I totally understand women who want their man to take the lead. You want him to talk to the valet. You want him to talk to the parking lot attendant. You want him to order for you because you think it's very cute, very sexy. But there's a difference between that and you not even being able to speak to a server. You not smiling to a server. You not speaking unless he speaks for you. Like, are you a hostage or a princess? Princess treatment could look very different depending on the woman, but if you like your princess treatment with just a hint of patriarchy, this is exactly what it looks like.
Don't look at her. She's not allowed to order. She's not allowed to speak when a man is in the room. This is a princess. She gonna have a salad. She need to lose some fucking weight. I'ma have a steak smothered in onions. Does she look like she got a single thought in her head? No. Stop looking at she gonna have water, nigga. I already told you that. Nigga. Ain't no queens in this bitch. Go to the table, they said go. Shit. Look at him again. I'm taking your ass home and I'm coming out by myself. Do this like the type of motherfucker who look like she know what she want? No. That's why I tell her what she want. Get your ass over there and sit down.
I'm about to square off with you. Another question that I'm getting about princess treatment. If you go out to dinner and your husband orders you something because he is going to order for you, orders you something that you're allergic to, what do you do? Telling him that you're allergic to it or that you would prefer something else would be very emasculating, so you're not going to say anything. If you go into anaphylaxis and you have your EpiPen on you, I would not use it. I would simply die. Using an EpiPen at a restaurant is not going to look very feminine. It's going to cause a lot of attention. People are going to be looking at you. You're going to take the focus away from your husband. Really, at the end of the day, the most feminine thing that you can be is dead.
When I go to a restaurant, I'm a princess, so no, I'm not supposed to look at anything. My husband looks at everything for me. That's why I have a satin blindfold. He walks me into the restaurant. I don't look at anyone. I keep the tape on my mouth until we sit down because then I'm going to have to eat. But this is princess treatment. I'm not supposed to have to do anything. My husband orders for me. And by ordering for me, I mean he orders 2 foods for himself because one of them he's going to have to pre-chew so that he can then put it in my IV drip so that way I can digest it.
I said, I can't take people on TikTok seriously. I really cannot take people on TikTok. And trust me, this is not even everybody. People are just giving different renditions of this lady. And I think at some point she deleted her account, deactivated her account, but she's back now. So, yeah, she's back. So, people on TikTok are not serious. Some people are now saying that they work in a restaurant and if they see somebody like this in a restaurant, then it's also a problem. Because to be honest, these people are in the restaurant, they're already tired. They're already tired doing their own work. You're not going to come and add your own drama into the situation. Eh?
As somebody who worked in bars and restaurants for many years, if a man and a woman are sitting at a table and the man orders for her, I'm ignoring him, I'm looking her directly in the eyes and I'm saying, "What can I get for you, ma'am? What would you like?" We need to quickly snap out of this idea that somehow making ourselves as small as possible is in any way empowering for us. Yes, I'm talking about the princess treatment lady. Part of her advice to women was to not speak unless spoken to.
Huh?
We are being propagandized to so aggressively that somehow we're telling each other that we should be seen and not heard. What are we doing? I fear we need to go back to female empowerment 101 and start pinning cringy ass posts on Pinterest again, like well-behaved women never made history and what if I fall, but oh darling, what if you fly? We need to go back to basics. Because what do you mean we are now getting on the internet and as women telling each other that we need to be silent, rude, and frankly awkward in public in order to be princesses. Princess treatment? You mean 14-year-old girls who were married off to 40-year-olds in the name of political alliances? They had no real power. They were raped and then beheaded. Stand up. Stop depending on a man for everything. Girls, I beg you, stop listening to this bullshit. It has done nothing for us except keep men in power for hundreds of years.
So I just saw that video from that princess treatment woman where she is talking about how when she's out with her husband, she doesn't talk to hostess or waiters. Her husband handles all that for her and orders for her. A lot of wild stuff was said throughout that video, you know, to each their own, I suppose. Like from her saying that she doesn't even make eye contact with the staff when she walks into the room. Her husband does all that. To her saying that, you know, part of that feminine energy or femininity, whatever she phrased it as, to be, you don't have to speak unless you're spoken to. So let's talk about that real quick. So there's a huge intersection between domestic violence and human trafficking, because a lot of times the trafficker can be the survivor's like husband or boyfriend or whoever it might be, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of trainings that, you know, educators like myself do, where we tailor the training to be how to respond if you suspect somebody is a survivor of domestic violence. So that training might be tailored specifically for law enforcement, to medical staff, because there's literally no way in whatever profession you're in that you don't come across a survivor. You might not know they're a survivor, but there's no way you've never come across a survivor in your line of work. So part of that training is recognizing what are some signs that somebody might be in an abusive relationship or might be a victim of trafficking, right? And, you know, how to go about that, you know, without tipping off the abuser or potential abuser, right? So part of that training is realizing who in their dynamic looks like they don't have autonomy, right? So let's say you're like your nurse, right? And somebody comes in with an injury and you're asking the person with the injury, hey, what's going on? And the other person interjects and say, oh, well, they fell, you know, or we were playing around and this happened, right? And you ask this person, oh, okay, well, where were you? And the person else that's there with them interjects and says, oh, well, we were in the room. And it's like, you know what I mean? Or, you know, you're a wait staff, right? And you're asking somebody their order, and before they respond, look at their partner. Like, you can't tell me what you want. You know what I mean? Like, and I know some of y'all are thinking, oh, wow, like, you know, this is just like princess treatment. You know, this is just somebody who's letting their man lead or whatever it is. But that's also what it's like when an abuser or trafficker is with their person they're trafficking. You know what I mean? So, like, that should raise some concern for some people. I think the misconception there is the belief that abuse only happens in the home and that abusers don't take their survivors out of the house. But sometimes the abuse does get to the point where there's injury and they have to go to the hospital. Sometimes the abuser wants to go out to eat somewhere and they bring the survivor with them, right? So like these are some times you can recognize or possibly recognize that somebody in your profession, in your restaurant, in your office is a victim. Whatever content you choose to follow, whatever pipeline you want to go down, whatever seems like princess treatment for you, I can't tell you what to do. You know what I mean? I think you just at least look at these things with an open mind. But I will leave with this story though. When I was in my early 20s, before I even got into this field of work, I used to go to this gym, and there was a couple in the gym, and sometimes the girl wouldn't even work out. She's just there with him. I mean, she's in there with like jeans, sandals on, like she's there clearly not going to work out, and she's just there with her boyfriend. I'm assuming it's her boyfriend while he's working out, right? And some of y'all again are going to think, oh my God, her man, she's supposed to be around him. She wants to be under his skin. Hey, whatever you perceive that to be, you know what I mean? And one day, it was like nighttime. They were there in the gym again. She was not working out at all. They left before me. And like, you know, after they left, I was leaving the gym too. And as I'm leaving the gym, mind you, like the gym is on like a back street, right? So it's like no street lights. As I'm leaving the gym, my headlights flash and I see her sitting on the curb on the floor. Her boyfriend not around. Like she's on the curb, and like in the exit of the street, just sitting there. So like, I'm like, that's strange. So I mean, I just drove past, but then I'm like, nah, ain't no way. Like there's no way. So I come back around and I like pull up next to her slowly, and I'm trying not to be creepy because, you know, it's still nighttime and this is a woman like in the middle of the street by herself. I roll my window down. I'm like, hey, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, you sure? It's like dark out here and you're sitting here with no phone, like just sitting there. She's like, yeah, I'm okay. Huh? I didn't say that, but I'm just like, nah, there's something going on here. But like, hey, I just left. But you can't tell me that that's a normal interaction between a couple. You can't tell me that.
I had to leave that video in because this princess treatment that this woman is here advocating for, even if I know that she does not believe in what she's saying, because it looks like she's making it up as she's going. It may cause a serious situation where the waiters and the people that are supposed to be keeping an eye out for things like this will be like, oh, maybe this is one of the ones that decide that this is how she should be treated, princess treatment, and they may miss somebody. One or two people may get lost in the cracks. So that's why I left that video in, because that literally is abusive relationship. Like, if you see it out in the wild.
Normally when I see like insane tradwife content on this app, I just scroll past it because that's not for me. But there was this video that just came across my For You page, and it was so crazy. I feel like I have to talk about this. This lady was talking about how when she goes to restaurants with her husband, like, she wants princess treatment, which, hey, fine, you know, whatever, you do you. But what she was describing as princess treatment was, okay, like, if she and her husband go into a restaurant, she does not look at the hostess, she does not speak to the hostess, she doesn't acknowledge the hostess at all, and just like has her husband do all of that. And then like when they get to the table and they're ordering, she also like doesn't acknowledge the wait staff or anything. Like, that's not princess treatment. That's just being a bitch. Like, you're actually just being rude to the wait staff and weird and like antisocial. That's bizarre behavior. And like, there were women in the comments who were like, oh my god, yes, like, we just have to tap into our feminine energy. That is not feminine energy. That's not princess treatment. That's being rude. And like, it's also weird that you expect that your husband is the only one interacting. I don't know. Like, that's odd to me. And like, it's also strange to call this princess treatment, because if you were an actual princess, you would have some level of decorum. Princesses are polite and understand proper etiquette. You're just being a bitch to the wait staff and calling it princess treatment. And in the comments, this girl was like, oh my god, but it's just like so fun to act like a princess. And it's like, no, you're just being rude. And of course this woman was white. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like servers and like people in the service industry have it hard enough as it is, because, you know, they're making like less than minimum wage in a lot of states, and then they're just being treated like they're invisible. That's so rude. And like, I'm sorry, but that is not princess treatment. You are just a bitch.
I know I'm so late to this, but the thing about the princess treatment video that cracked me up was the way she complained about the waitstaff being confused by her behavior. Because objectively, very bizarre behavior. Refusing to make eye contact, refusing to speak unless spoken to, not speaking at all, looking to her husband anytime she's asked a question. That, especially in the United States, is just not normal social behavior. We have a very friendly culture based on smiling, eye contact. Also, eye contact, the most basic primal form of mammalian socialization. So when you're not doing that, it's gonna make everyone's ancient primal Neanderthal brains light up and go, something's not right here. And in the video, she's like, oh, the waitstaff, they're worried about me. They're trying to get me to talk. Like, they're confused. Like, you need to gag gore. Get a grip on reality. Like, sorry, the waitstaff serving you making minimum wage didn't immediately automatically catch on to you and your husband's weird fetish. Like, oh my god, like, it's not giving princess, it's giving lobotomy. And it's giving everyone else around you weirded the hell out. You know, you might think that you're giving elegance and grace. Meanwhile, the waitstaff is in the back talking to the managers about the potential human trafficking situation they have on their hands. You don't know it because you haven't been making eye contact with the staff, but they've been sending you Morse code messages the entire time. They're hatching escape routes for you.
Hey, how you doing today, ma'am? Table for two for Justin? Ma'am? Miss, are you ready? Ma'am, table for two, are you ready? Okay. Table for two for Craig. All right, come right this way.
Yeah, so some people are also saying that this is a kink. I cannot kink shame anybody. I will allow people on the internet to kink shame them themselves.
If I am at a restaurant with my husband, I do not talk to the hostess, I do not open any doors, and I do not order my own food.
This woman is describing this kind of treatment as princess treatment, but this to me looks like the patriarchy in full effect. Women being seen and not heard, women only speaking when being spoken to. This woman is being dragged all over the internet because she sees this treatment as princess treatment, but from the outside looking in, it looks like somebody who wants to be dominated and controlled. And if that's what you're into, have at it. But this is not what princess treatment looks like for most women. When we think princess treatment, we think being spoiled. We think being listened to, being heard, being respected, being valued, being treated well. We don't think about the idea that you can't even speak to a server. You can't smile. You can't speak until your man speaks for you. This to me is no different than the video that I posted yesterday about the woman saying that she wears a day collar to show her husband when he comes home that she's being submissive. Now, this woman seems to be a bit more affluent. She's going to Michelin star restaurants. She's going on nice vacations and all of that. But to me, her collar is invisible. It's still there, though. I totally understand women who want their man to take the lead. You want him to talk to the valet. You want him to talk to the parking lot attendant. You want him to order for you because you think it's very cute, very sexy. But there's a difference between that and you not even being able to speak to a server. You not smiling to a server. You not speaking unless he speaks for you. Like, are you a hostage or a princess? Princess treatment could look very different depending on the woman, but if you like your princess treatment with just a hint of patriarchy, this is exactly what it looks like.
Being a woman is not a disability, but the princess treatment feels like a woman choosing to disable herself. Because if you haven't seen the TikTok, the princess treatment is the idea that when you go to a restaurant, you can't make eye contact with the wait staff because that's a man's job. And you can't take off your coat because that's a man's job. And you can't open up your doors because that's a man's job. And in fact, you can't even open up your menu because your husband should be ordering for you and choosing what he wants you to be eating instead. All of that is behavior that only kind of makes sense to do for someone if they genuinely need that kind of assistance. If you are an able-bodied person and you believe that people need to do all those things for you, you need assistance with that, you are giving up your own autonomy. And when it comes to not making eye contact with the waitstaff, I have autism. I can still make eye contact with the waitstaff because they're not looking at you not making eye contact and not greeting the host, etc., and being like, oh my God, she has such grace. They're looking at you and being like, what the actual is wrong with you? And in the princess treatment video, the girl was like offended when she was talking about how the server will sometimes look at her, expecting her to say her order. As someone who has been a server before, quite frankly, when I am like with a couple, I will always turn to the woman as well because number one, if it's a man and a woman, and as someone who's not a man, I don't want it to come across that I think that the man is the one who deserves the attention or have it come across in some kind of like, ooh, flirty way or whatever. So I always make sure that I turn and I make eye contact with the girl and I ask how she is as well. And it is crazy that there are women who come on this app and are like, ladies, don't let other people humanize you. You need to stay your husband's dog. What's even crazier about this, and I think that there's an aspect that goes into skinny talk, is the idea that your husband does everything for you, that he orders what food you want. Of course, these ladies are going to be promoting the idea of absolute thinness because they're setting up their life in a way so that they don't need to even have the energy to actually live their life to the fullest. And honestly, it kind of feels like a way to trap a woman, to choose what she eats, to have her be skinny, have her have no power, no energy to get out of it, and then to convince her that this isn't a toxic relationship, that this is just common courtesy and politeness that a man owes you. The princess treatment is essentially one woman saying to other women that women should be seen and not heard, and without saying it, perpetuating the idea that women are objects, that men are the brain of society. They're the ones who deserve power, and women should just be that thing that he's seen with and who gives him pleasure. You are oppressing yourself, and it's frustrating when people's defense is, well, you're not a feminist because this is the life that I'm choosing and I'm a woman. So as a feminist, if you really love the woman, you would be supporting me. Being a feminist is decentering men from your lives. It is not a feminist action to give up all of your autonomy for a man who it seems maybe doesn't even like you for who you really are.
The amount of content online that y'all are not identifying as kink content is alarming to me. Because for a second I was like, bitch, are we too far freaked out? Are we too deep into the slutation? Or is it that they're just very vanilla, boring in the bedroom, or maybe even the target audience, which is why they're acting like nothing is wrong? And that's what made me realize, as we're online talking about, we're losing recipes because motherfuckers can't read. Y'all gonna be like, Jasmine, what does reading have to do with slut content? Well, reading is not just about identifying the word on the paper, and I know y'all not reading anything on paper, but it's also being able to identify the associated definition and the way it's being used in that context, because context is not just for books, it's for everyday life, and y'all be missing context because y'all don't fucking read. I made a post on Twitter, shared that tweet to Instagram, and in that tweet I said the trad wives, the lady doing the princess treatment content that doesn't speak to wait staff and ignores people directly speaking to her in her face because she feels like for whatever reason being a princess means we don't have to speak to the peasantry, so she's gonna stand there like a good little doobie until her husband gets back, because sometimes he's not even in the vicinity to answer the question of the wait staff or the people that she's actively ignoring. Are former whores rebranding their kinks as lifestyle content? Like kink isn't already a lifestyle and it's very evident they're just submissive with a degradation and a breeding kink. And would you believe the people on Instagram read that post and said, Jasmine, why are we kink shaming? I'm submissive with a degradation and a breeding kink. Y'all are some thick skulled motherfuckers, you. I swear to God, y'all brains is just mush and y'all skulls is thicker than peanut butter taking a shit and giving birth to a brick. What's wrong with y'all? I'm not shaming the kink, I'm the resident whore. What I am saying is they are hiding their kinks under the guise of religious purity and femininity content, pushing that 21 kids and counting dirty Duggar lifestyle. That lady that has all the light-skinned children that keeps getting on this app doing the pregnancy reveal, and the elders keep rolling their eyes because there's already 236 of them. That's kink content, not actually posting the children, but continuing to get pregnant for content is kink. Mukbang content is kink. Miss Shirley, the little girl content, was kink. And y'all was like, no, y'all are sexualizing. No, they're being sexualized for pay. For example, I used to like Tony Fine because when I first found her, I was like, you're right. You can't drink Gatorade all day long and wonder why are you not losing any fucking weight. But then when I saw her make that live about, oh, y'all only want those vibration plates so y'all can watch y'all butt jiggle, y'all are freaked out. No, sister, I think you may be the one that's freaked out because the vibration plate is for circulation. What the fuck are we talking about? And that's what made me realize everybody has an audience. Some of these people are here because they have degradation kinks. They like people talking shit to them. That's why so many of the fitness coaches do well, because y'all actually have degradation kinks. That's why y'all want somebody to talk to y'all like crap. And that's what made me realize this is why we losing recipes, because y'all believe context is only for books. But videos, content is auditory context. It is auditory books. And y'all not being able to read or choosing not to read is keeping you from being able to peep the context and the content. And I don't know what's going to happen. It's just getting scary as fuck out here.
Like, I can't open the door. I can't talk to the hostess. I don't know how to do that. But don't take that so literally where I'm saying like you have to be dumb. I'm just saying that like you just let him have control. You let him take care of you. So that's baseline. I don't really tie my shoes. He does that for me. Like if there's any sort of like
I don't understand. This is just willfully, acting like a child. Like, you could just simply say, he's a dom, I'm a sub, this is how we get our sexual kicks. Like, the more honest, respectful thing is to say, I'm a sugar baby. Because opening a car door, buying you flowers and buying you coffee, and answering the phone when you call, that's not princess treatment. That's just, like, what you do when you care about somebody. I have dated men with money who are like, let me take you to Europe. Let me take you to Mexico. They'll answer the phone when I call once. I don't have to call his phone 3 times. And we're just dating. That's not a flex. Like, again, you can just say, I like to be dominated and he likes to control me. And that's how we get turned on. And I have so much more respect for you, but this is not it. Willfully giving up your voice, your power, your ability to support yourself. Yeah. Look, I'm divorced. He wanted all that control. that wasn't gonna fly for me. So yeah, I guess, I mean, if you want to be helpless and you want to act like a child and you like being dominated, get your kicks, girl. Not trying to, but passing it off as this whole trad wife princess treatment, that's some white lady shit.
Does anyone know why she dresses like a child? Because I know she's aiming for old money, but she's landing on 5th grader ready to go to a slumber party with their friends. And knowing that she doesn't want to have her own personality, she wants to be an extension of the male figure in her life, but also she has a 5th grade son, is just crazy and creepy to me. Especially knowing why women had to dress like that in the olden days, as my kids like to call it, in order to keep their husband's interests. The way that she dresses is just another way to reinforce to society that she's not an autonomous figure, that she's not her own person. And knowing that she's raising a son to believe that this is normal is just absolutely insane to me. My daughter just had a slumber party with her friends and most of them were wearing those pajamas. And this style of dresses that she wears don't look bad on her at all. They all really complement her figure. They look like pretty dresses, but then she chooses the most childish prints ever. It just seems that she goes for the collars and the prints and the ribbons and the frou-frous that really emphasizes infantilization. She also loves pleated things. It seems that she wears this top and a couple of skirts on the same style in a lot of her videos. I think she had a video where she had this skirt on a list for her husband to buy for her. And then just the way that she styles it makes it seem like she's college aged. And then right here, she actually shows that she's capable of dressing her age. I love this outfit. I liked how she styled it. The shoes, the bag, it's classic. It is soft, it's elegant, and then it doesn't make her look like a creep.
To be honest, the fact that she has a child is even the most annoying part, because now her child will be thinking that this is what normal people do, and then you go and frustrate another person's child somewhere. Please, this woman should please end this thing as fast as she started it. Immediately, she should end it, I beg.
Let's talk about the princess treatment lady. So this woman posted a video on TikTok saying that when she goes out to dinner with her husband, she demands princess treatment. So what does that mean to her? She says that she doesn't open doors, she doesn't look the waitstaff in the eye, she doesn't speak to any of the servers, she doesn't order for herself, because she believes that doing so is not feminine or demure. Beyond this being completely psychotic behavior. Something I can't stop thinking about is the strange hypocrisy that she's basically arguing that women should be seen, not heard. But somehow she's comfortable to come online and tell other women how to live their lives. Because if her whole thing is that women should be docile and subservient and silent, she herself is still not upholding that standard. She's not truly happy having no voice or perspective in the world. You can tell from her videos she's very intentional about her image, the way her hair is, the way she's positioning, the way she looks. I think she has so much anxiety that in real life she can't uphold this perfect standard she's created for herself and other women. She's petrified to do anything that violates that standard in public, so she does nothing. So she's created this princess treatment code to justify her own fears about interacting with others. You can still choose to be a stay-at-home mom or have a more traditional lifestyle, but that choice should be made because it's what fulfills you, not because it's what's expected of you. She believes this behavior is how she earns kindness and respect as a woman. And it is incredibly dangerous that creators like this are able to get on this app and to preach this sort of propaganda that impacts young women.
Another huge part of the princess treatment is, I don't know if we specifically talked about this, but the over need to like talk and fill space. Like you don't need to talk unless you are spoken to. And then if you are spoken to and asked, you could just say, oh, I'm just waiting for my husband, and then he'll be able to give the reservation. Or you can say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not sure. My husband will be back, and then you can ask him. You can say it in a very soft and feminine way.
Wow, that's a lot of misogyny and patriarchy wrapped up in a pretty little bow. So this video of hers is very long, so I'm not going to go over all of it. Basically, she is saying that when she goes out to eat with her husband, a night that he planned, she does not talk to anybody, she doesn't look anybody in the eye. She lets her husband handle everything, and she's not too loud, and she doesn't speak until being spoken to. I'm seeing a lot more of this right-wing conservative content coming on this app, as if in order to be feminine, you have to be quiet, you have to be meek. It's something that we used to see in my grandmother's Good Housekeeping booklet, where I used to say something like, when your husband comes home from work, don't bother him with your problems, don't ask him about his day, bring him a martini and just smile and be his happiness. That's a load of bull crap.
If your husband requires you to be meek, quiet, and not speak to anybody in order to feel like a man, then there's something wrong with your man. I don't want anybody on this app confusing misogyny and princess treatment, because that is not princess treatment. Sure, my husband driving me up to the restaurant when it's freezing cold out because I'm in Minnesota, yeah, that's princess treatment. I love that he does that for me all the time. But guess what? Me speaking up and saying, hey, we have a reservation at 4:00, that's not me taking away his man card. Women like this that promote the narrative that in order to be feminine, you must be quiet, not have a voice, is disrespectful to women and shameful. Because you can still be in your feminine energy and still speak up and say what you want and what you need. All my love.
I get the full princess treatment too, okay? Except I'm a real princess, so I'm not out here making the peasants feel uncomfy. All right, I get dropped off at the restaurant because I don't walk through a parking lot either, because my husband does not want me to experience the weather. But by the time he gets back from parking the car, I am best friends with everybody. I know who's getting married, we've been invited to the wedding, and I have convinced somebody to start crocheting again, okay? Because a real princess, she is not hidden. No, she is adored. And I am not quiet because he is the man. I am loud because he makes me feel safe enough to shine. I am out here waving at babies at other tables like I am royalty on a balcony. And he is just sitting back watching, like he's watching his Sims thrive, drinking his tea, proud of the kingdom that he has made, where I feel safe enough to be soft and chatty. This is the kingdom he has created for me, and I am the reason why it sparkles 1000%. He also doesn't order for me because he knows that I am the main character and I have a side quest involving the dessert menu. If the food is good, I tell the kitchen. If the hostess is sweet, I ask for the manager. When the busboy comes, my table is tidy. This man does not treat me like I am fragile. He treats me like I am priceless. And there's a huge difference. Being treated like you're fragile means somebody thinks that you will break. Being treated like you're priceless means he knows that I am rare and I am treated accordingly.
That's baseline. I don't really tie my shoes. He does that for me. Like, if there's any sort of like...
It's not a coincidence that we're being fed this kind of content at the same time that the government is stripping away our reproductive rights. They are trying to make oppression and sexism seem aspirational. They want a new generation of young women to think that it's a good thing, actually, that the government has taken away their right to control their own lives and bodies.
I'm going to get yelled at for saying this, but princess treatment isn't romantic. It's a socially accepted way to avoid being an adult in a relationship. We have raised generations, including the Disney girls, on love means someone is going to come save you. That's not a partnership. That's just a fucking fantasy. And as a kid, that fantasy might have kept you safe, but now as an adult, you're not dating your mom or dad. You don't need to fantasize about someone coming to get you. In a healthy and secure relationship, no one is anticipating every single one of your needs without you fucking communicating that to them. Because psychologically, it keeps you stuck in arrested development where you continue to act like a child with your partner. You're not growing, you're outsourcing responsibility. What actually builds a healthy and secure relationship? Reciprocal care. Not getting upset with the person that you're on a date with because they dropped you off to go in and check in for your reservation, and you're now seeing that as that's my masculine, he should be doing everything. No, baby, you also need to contribute to the relationship. You might be a princess in your own fucking life, but you're not a princess in everybody else's, and expecting everyone that you date to treat you like that is only going to keep you single longer than you need to be, or you're going to get somebody who is performative and not actually there for true fucking care.
The saddest part and the thing that they won't tell you about princess treatment is that these women have no money, okay? Like, they may be financially stable in the sense that, like, their kids go to the best school and the mom never has to worry about things because she always has help in the house or whatever. But they really don't know where that money is, where it's coming in from, how much they have, and if things go left with their husband, what is theirs and what is his, okay? And the reason is usually because their husband controls everything, just like he controls who she speaks to, when she speaks, how loud she speaks, when you're spoken to, fuck shit. It never just ends in a restaurant. It's their whole entire lives, which is why they come on here looking as exhausted as they do, like a coat hanger, just wearing the clothes. And it's so sad and it sucks because all of the skills, all of the things that they're talking about has nothing to do with women in 2025. It sounds like they're stuck in 1970, and that's exactly where her husband wants her to be, so that if things go left, she is going to be left far behind. And this is exactly what happened to women when they're only living to appease a man. So please don't fall for princess treatment. It's control.
I'm not going to say too much about what this looks like in the long run. You will see all that in my my last video that I literally just posted. Whatever you do, whatever you think princess treatment is, make sure that you don't give away your autonomy to somebody else. There is a standard treatment that you expect from somebody. I don't It doesn't even matter who, if the person is married to you, just a friend. There's a standard treatment you expect from a friend. There's a standard treatment you expect from someone that you are married to. Communicate that to whoever it is you are in a relationship with. But it does not mean that you should give your own autonomy to the person, whether it's financial or emotional. Don't give your autonomy away, because to be honest, this is kind of like a muscle, like that control, like you. And I'm also linking it to the lady, is it Serena, the lady in the Handmaid's Tale. I'm linking it to that because it turns out that many things at this point in time is just looking more and more like the Handmaid's Tale. But I'm using that as an example to give you a clear picture of what the future will look like if you continue to allow yourself to. And in this situation, it looks like she's even the one creating her own prison for herself. So don't do it, because it's a muscle. And the more you relax, the more you won't be able to pick it up when it is time, like when you need to find yourself or find your way out of this relationship. At that point in time, even though you've had like life experience, like this particular princess treatment lady, she was working before. It's just recently that she got promoted to be a housewife. So but the thing is, you lose all those skills, all those management skills, all those um corporate skills, like all the skills you use in your corporate life, you lose them when you don't use it. So at some point you will not you will be surprised that some things like normal budgeting, normal where is the money coming from, where is the money, especially now that she's housewife. It's very, very dangerous place for you to be in. I will not hammer on this too much because you will get all the information you want from my previous video, which I will pin up there. Please watch that particular video. So what do you think? Let me know, what do you think about this whole princess treatment? Is she going too far? Is she not going far enough? Is she short selling herself? Is she laying traps for herself? What do you think? Or is it just me that is tweaking? Hmm? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll be there to to gist with you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.